What's going on, Vancouver? Welcome to the Vancouver Fitness Podcast. My name is Josko, and I'm the host of this podcast. And I'm sitting today with John Lee again. He was here for, I believe, episode 1. So he made the return right after his IFBB Pro debut, where he did 3 back-to-back bodybuilding competitions, which is super taxing. And I'm excited to hear all the stories that he's had since then. So roll the intro. So I wanted to start off this podcast by asking about the But Wait, There's More tour.
Of course.
And because I think it's like a sensation on Instagram. It's so fascinating to watch. I don't know why like watching people eat is so fascinating online. I love to do it. And I'm just curious why.
That's a good question. And you're right. It's one of the most captivating parts about the way I put out my content. I think a lot of people enjoy the fact that after such a gruesome long prep of dieting and hard training, that I get to showcase my emotions behind the food that I eat, because I am a foodie at the end of the day. I love food. And the reason why I have this But Wait, There's More food tour, because one, I told myself that I would enjoy myself after the show, right? And there's not a limitation that I hold on myself to try to stay as strict as I can, which is something I've done in the past. But I know the way I work is when I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it without any guilt. So I told myself I'm going to have 1.5 days where I'm going to eat guilt-free, enjoy myself, document it, show the people that I'm doing this not behind the scenes, because that's something that I've done before too. I would kind of almost put on a facade in the past, tell people that I've been on track and tracking, but behind closed doors, I'd be, binging on little snacks here and there, not really having much integrity with my words.
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, I told myself that I'm going to enjoy myself guilt-free and not have any sense of remorse on my actions. And by doing so, I kind of alleviated this pressure off my shoulder, and it allowed me to really just get all of the cravings that I had out of the way. And once I got over that, I was able to get back on track with my routine the following Monday much easier. And I was able to do everything that I needed to do within that week without feeling those cravings come back and the temptations creep back in.
Mm-hmm. When I competed in my first bodybuilding competition, like it was so hard to get back on track after. And you're so right. I would like make this like play this facade online where it's like I'm doing so well, but like deep down inside I was not doing well at all. And like going home and just stuffing my face with all the food I like hoarded over the last fucking like 6 months of the bodybuilding prep and stuff, like just doing some weird stuff that like you would never think of recording. But that's such a cool way to think about it, to like be honest about it. And as you should, you're trying to like people buy into the personality. And I think that's the thing that like kind of makes people watch you, because it's like, okay, he's just being honest. Like it looked like there was no regret or anything like that about what you're doing. You're just like, yeah, I got 1 or 2 days left. I'm just going to enjoy myself. And that's it. Like, come along with me,
Yeah. At the end of the day, I want to be transparent with my audience. And I think that's how you build that connection with those that are following you. And as strict as I am and disciplined as I am with my prep, I am human, right? So I enjoy my food. And in the past, I would try to like have this balance with that food, but it would be this balance of food enjoyment and balance of like being disciplined with my diet. And it was very hard to find that balance with the food and the staying on track with the nutrition and the training. So I told myself that for me, I just got to switch gears when I need to. So when it's time to enjoy the food, I'll enjoy it guilt-free. But there is a time when I need to stay on track so that I can maintain what I've worked towards, right? And what I've built so far. Because, I mean, you've seen me in the past, I bloated up to like 240 pounds. And that was just me letting go of myself and not having a strict regimen. And I guess falling victim to the pandemic. And obviously I ruptured my Achilles as well. So I just kind of let that snowball until this year of January, where I decided to just fully commit myself to a new lifestyle and a new approach to the way I see food. So now I see food as a means to get closer towards my goal, which is obviously qualifying for Olympia. So now every time I approach my nutrition and my diet plan, it's all about fuel. It's all about function and performance, making me feel good so that I can train better in the gym, have better energy, get better sleeps. And that's exactly what has happened throughout this whole prep compared to previous preps where it would be a lot more if it fits your macros. And I would fill up a lot of my foods with not necessarily all junk, but junk here and there. Whereas now, or the way I've approached it in the past 6 months, I've eaten 6 meals a day and a lot of them like nutrient dense foods. And it's helped me maintain a lot better energy and I perform better in the gym. And I don't feel as depleted as before because I'm constantly fueling my body throughout the day. And it's made me have such a better prep throughout the whole entire season. And now that I'm done, I want to approach it that way as a lifestyle because I operate at a higher frequency. I'm way more focused and I have better workouts and better sleep. So I just feel like this is just the way I want to operate and live and function for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. So what's so different about this time versus other times? Like, what's the biggest? Is it just like a complete mindset shift?
I think
Because
so.
and then also, okay, so the one thing that you mentioned was like you felt guilty after you'd eat before, right? And then now you don't have that guilt anymore, right?
Exactly.
So like, do you after this bodybuilding prep, was there days where you were just like feeling like just wrecked, and then you just like plowed through that and just said like I'm not gonna cheat, I'm just gonna stay on top of my clean foods and stuff? Like, did you just have to like beat it out of your head?
You mean
You
like
know,
during prep?
no,
After prep.
after when that, I consider that to be harder than during
It
prep.
is.
During prep is easier.
Totally. So the way I approach it is I'll tell myself that this 1 or 2 days is what the day I'm going to enjoy myself. And because of, I
But
guess,
then what about like that was the initial first 2 days, right? But like what about afterwards? Like, is that you only needed those 2 days to just get it out of your system?
for
And
the
then
first week, right? And then I got back on track and I was on track with it for the first week. And now I'm approaching it where if I want to have a free meal, I'll select and choose when I'll have it, right? And I do it guilt free. It's not necessarily planned, right? So in my head, I'm trying to stay on track with the current plan that I have without any treats because I know that those treats for me are triggers.
Mhm.
I'll have one, I want
What do you mean
another.
by treats?
Like cookies. Like I'll have like
Okay.
cookies in the pantry, even just like snacking on like cinnamon toast crunch,
Mm.
right? Because in the past I would weigh myself like a small bowl of cinnamon toast crunch at the end of the night, just to, as a treat. But that would trigger certain response with my body where I get hungry again, and I can't control myself, and then I would just eat from that one bowl to the whole box,
Right. So it's finding like those trigger foods and just kind of like not.
eliminating them from the diet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just in the cubby in the pantry. So get rid of the trigger food. I got rid of like, the trigger food because if it's not there, I'm not gonna like go into cubbies and eat it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
so the way I approach it now is everything is I eat for fuel, and when I want to have a free meal, I'll have it. And let's say if a buddy calls me up because I've been on a diet for so long and they haven't had a chance to uh, chat and catch up. They'll ask me like, okay, yeah, I'll plan for this day,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't plan it on a daily basis where I'll have like certain treats here and there when I feel like it. Like I'll have the specific day where I'll eat a free meal, but not plan in like treats or little, like I said, trigger foods that I know could cause me to binge or to lead to like further cravings and temptations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we teach our clients all the time too. Is like that's the big thing, like planning. If you plan, then you'll be fine. It's like when you go in without a plan, then it's planning to fail. Like I
Yeah.
think we talked about that in the last podcast too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like that's the key. So that's what you're finding is like keeping you on track this time.
Totally.
And after prep, like do you still get the because would you consider yourself depleted still like from after prep?
Well, I'm about like 25 pounds above stage weight now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not depleted anymore. I have good energy now, better sleeps as well. So everything is feeling good, and I don't feel those cravings anymore. Like in the first week, it was a little bit hard, but because the way I approach it and my mentality behind it, because I was pretty close to qualifying for Olympia, right? And for me, it's like that desire to be on the Olympia stage outweighs my desire for like temporary moments of satisfaction with food.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I'm kind of over it now because that's how I conducted my life in the past was really food focused after the show, but now I'm goal focused, like way more goal oriented. And I find that me looking at that, to structure to structure my week, my meals, the training, has helped me stay on track with it more than just finding enjoyment out of food.
So this time, way more goal orientated, and then in the past, like you would just kind of like, you wouldn't see that far in the future. You'd just be like, I'm at the end of my prep. I'm just going to keep eating kind of thing. And then like, I'll figure it out later next prep.
Exactly.
You'd leave it for later, right?
Exactly. And that's why I've never had a real successful off season before, because I would just think of the end destination as the show. But now I got to think of the end destination as more than that, which is qualifying for Olympia. And on top of that, making this a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So if I want to make this a lifestyle and not go back to 240 like I did in the past, I have to find a routine that can allow me to sustain this and still enjoy my life. So that's why I said when I want to have a free meal, I can plan ahead for it, right? And there will be moments where, let's say, if I do crave a piece of cookie or something, and I know for a fact that it's not going to trigger me, I'll have a piece of cookie. Let's say if it's like a social outing, right, and we had a barbecue or whatever, like that's my time to enjoy that time. I'm not gonna, it's not gonna lead to binging if I take full ownership of what I decide to eat and know that I'm not gonna overconsume by the end of the night.
So you mentioned that you gained 25 pounds since the show day. Like if I were to gain 25 pounds, like fuck, I would be so disappointed in myself. But for you still have like ripped six pack.
I do, yeah.
So like is that planned, like the 25 pounds? Does that sound about right, like what you wanted to after show day? Because it's been like about a month now, I guess.
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. Like so 25 pounds in 3 weeks, that was like reasonable for you? You just wanted to get out of that like depleted phase?
Exactly. So I went back to following the exact same plan, but I just added more carbs per meal and about like 2 to 3 free meals every week.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a surplus of calories for sure, but it didn't lead to me binging, and it didn't lead to me like going through uncontrollable eating, right? Mm-hmm. This plan allowed me to stay on track with it because I was still giving myself those free meals, giving myself the flexibility to have them when I want to. So in my head, it's like, if I want it, I'll have it. But if I don't feel like it, I'm not going to go for it, right? And by doing that, I went up to 25 pounds, which I feel like is a really good off-season weight. So for me now, the plan moving forward is just to maintain this, stay here, and just slowly refine my physique and just, slowly change the composition of it.
Right. So, okay. So how many calories were you at before you,
I think
right at the end of the...
Yeah, it was around like 1900.
Okay. And then how many calories are you eating now?
I think it's around 27, 28.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Seems so reasonable.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem that bad at all.
Yeah. But well, plus the free meals, which could be another 15 to 2,000.
Right.
On that day, right?
Right. So then that could be like, so on average, you're probably eating like 3,000 calories.
I would say so throughout the week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Huh.
The body's responding really well to it.
So, and then are you planning on going up it in carbs at all?
That's the goal. That's the goal. But right now I want to maintain where it's at. If I do notice myself starting to lean out, I'll probably bump it up a bit.
Okay.
You don't want to stay too lean in the off season. And right now I'm just kind of slowly tapering off the cardio. So I was doing about an hour a day daily before. So now I'm down to like 45 minutes. I want to taper off the cardio a bit first until it's like maybe around like 25 minutes a day. And then we'll start to maybe bump the food.
Right. And then also, are you getting coached by, I don't know his name, the Rep 300 guy?
Yeah.
That's your coach.
Ron Partlow, yeah. So he's the owner of West Coast Iron.
Right. And then he is an IFBB pro himself.
Yes.
And is he competitive still?
No, he's retired.
Okay. And has he gone to Olympia?
No, he hasn't. So the moment he got his pro card, he retired immediately.
Oh, really?
Because he got his pro card, I think it was when he was 40 something. Yeah. Well, he's pretty lean. Like, you should have seen him in his prime days when he got his pro card. He was definitely, he was way bigger than he is now. But like now he's just living as a lifestyle and he's just kind of shredded.
So why did you choose him?
I think it was like right place at the right time.
Wait, what was his name?
Ron Partlow.
Ron Partlow. Okay.
Yeah. So at the time I was coachless in the off season, and I saw him working with a few of the guys at the West Coast Iron. One of the guys, his name is Billy Don. He worked with Billy to help me get his pro card. I thought Billy looked really great, and on top of that, he also worked with another guy named Steven Didoshak, which he also helped get his pro card as well. So I love the work that he was doing with them, and the fact that he was there at West Coast Iron. I was a member there at West Coast Iron.
Right.
I felt like it was the right decision to have a coach that was within close vicinity. We
Mhm.
can't take a look at my physique in person.
Yeah, I mean, he flew all the way to the States with you, right?
He did. He flew
Yeah.
out to Texas as well, and he was able to provide me with a lot clearer direction with not just the nutrition, but the gear side of things too.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that itself for me was a big eye opener because, I mean, to be transparent, I kind of abused it in the past without proper guidance.
Mhm.
And this time around, it was a totally different approach. I've used the least amount of gear in this prep.
And that's his
His protocol, yeah.
Okay.
I've used the least amount of gear in this prep compared to every other year I've competed, and I've looked the biggest, and I was the most leanest I've ever been in every other show.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
it just goes to show that you don't need much. And if I didn't have a coach to guide me through that, I would be taking everything in the kitchen sink
Mhm.
as I did in the past, thinking that I needed to take that to be a top level pro.
Right.
But I mean, realistically, it didn't, because I definitely looked good. And it really opened my eyes, because now it's going to help me also, stay healthier,
Mhm.
right? A lot more longevity. And yeah, he really opened my eyes in that sense.
I remember when I first competed and also did like the weird steroids, but just off like friends' recommendations who have like no idea what the fuck they're
the
doing.
gym bro sometimes.
But then now I'm like watching like Derek from More Plates More Days, and you're just like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, how unnecessary was that?
Yeah.
And like it's just so much different things, and like the timing of things, and like it's like so also worthless when like these pros are taking like a quarter of what you're taking.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people have the misconception that you have to take so much shit to become a pro. It's not it at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think once you have the foundation, just even a little bit of testosterone, it can go a long way.
It was like that interview with Ronnie Coleman on Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
Like just your basic stuff, your tests, your D-ball.
Oh yeah.
So okay, well, what were you taking? Like, you don't have to go into the amounts or anything, but I'm
Sure.
curious, like, what were you taking?
Well, I'll tell you the amount of testosterone I was taking, which is actually very surprising for most people. But I was only on 250 mgs of test per week.
250?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's usually like half or less of what people usually take.
Yeah, exactly. So in the past, I would be up to like 500-600, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was me as an amateur.
Dude, there's people like who are just at the gym working out, taking a gram of test.
A gram, yeah. Whole entire 1,000 mgs, yeah. So I was on 250 a week, and I also stacked that with a little bit of Masteron and Anavar.
Wow, that's
pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah, in the past I would be taking like 8 different compounds,
Yeah, like throwing Tren and like
yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
And the thing is, too,
and then also you'd probably be switching like esters between like
slow ester to the fast ester.
Throughout the prep and stuff.
Yeah. And it made a big difference, and not just the way that I felt, but it made an impact on the stress on my body, because I was taking so much shit in the past, and it made me have like bad sleep, right? The trend, the sleeps, like you're always like sweating at night. And on top of that, because I was an amateur, I could only weigh up to 170. So by me taking so much shit, it made it harder for me to make weight. So I had to deplete even that much harder, cut my carbs even lower, do that much more cardio just to make the 170-pound weight cap. Whereas I could have done less drugs, not have to deplete so hard with the nutrition to make weight and not put that much stress on my body. Whereas this time I had extra 10 pounds of muscle that I could weigh. So I was allowed to weigh up to 180, taking less stuff. So I was like, I had way less cortisol, less stress on my body, because I didn't have to push the food down so hard. I had to do as much cardio. And then my body just responded way better to that. Right. My body, like I only felt depleted for the last 2 weeks of prep. Whereas before I'd be feeling depleted for like 6 weeks out, and I'd be dragging my feet across the gym every workout. So it made a big difference.
Yeah, I remember how it felt those last like 6 weeks, just like terrible. And the sleeps, like it would be so weird, like waking up every hour, like you never really get a proper sleep. And then also like on top of that, you're an entrepreneur and you got like a whole business to run.
Yeah.
And a lot of these pros, like that's their full-time job. Like that's what they do, especially in the off season. Like they're just like getting sponsored and stuff. And then they only have to focus on their prep. Mm-hmm. But then for you, you have like you have like clients and stuff that you have
got
to
a whole
see.
business to run. And yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Makes it all so much harder.
A lot on my plate, but that's why I have to optimize every little thing to be functioning as as good as I can be, right? Have the energy levels good. Sleep was so important for me, and my sleep this time around with this prep season, the season in general, has been way better than every other prep I've done. I've taken my sleep hygiene more seriously than I ever have in the past.
So we talk about sleep pretty much every single podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like what do you do for sleep? Like when you say sleep hygiene, what do you do?
Yeah. So for me, it's like I try to stay away from my phone as much as I can. That's one thing.
Like
And
right
then
before bed, right?
right before bed, yeah. And then on top of that, just making sure that I'm taking the proper sleep supplements.
Mhm.
So I know it was an episode that you did with
Tanessa, yeah.
yeah, Vanessa. So her supplements that like, when she said, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing the right thing then. So what which would be magnesium biglycinate. I also take ashwagandha
Yeah.
before bed, and another product called GABA.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was just gonna help you promote a little bit of relaxation. I'll take that
Right.
about 1.5 hours before bed. I'll take that with like my meal pretty much right before bed, and then I'll usually start kind of feeling a little bit drowsy after like an hour, and then by 30 minutes I'll have all the lights out and just kind of wind down, either read or sometimes I'll be on my phone, but I try not to be, and then yeah, I just usually pass out from there.
Hmm.
It's very easy for me to fall asleep, and on top of that, I also supplement with CBD a little bit.
Okay.
I used to smoke weed. I mean, I still do here and there, but I also found that I wake up groggier with it.
Hmm.
So with CBD, I'm waking up a little bit more alert. And on top
So
of that,
I've never actually done CBD, but do
okay,
you don't feel anything from that, right?
no, there's
Yeah.
you don't feel any kind of high or anything, but I
Mm.
do feel a really good, intense relaxation. Yeah, so just like really
So
meld
is
it
that
out.
like a supplement? Like how do you take it? Like do you like?
Yeah, so it comes in like an oil form.
Mm.
So it's like a droplet you put on your tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, and you just let it like soak up in the tongue, under the tongue, and then yeah, you take it about like an hour before, and then your body starts to relax. Pretty good.
Okay. And then how long do you sleep for?
I game for 7 hours minimum. That's the goal.
And then during the prep?
During prep, it was harder to get 7 hours because I mean, when you're so lean, your body just doesn't want to sleep. So I would try to be in bed by like 10:30, 11, and usually in prep I'll be up by like 5. So I'll be a little bit less than 7. But now that I have a little more food in me, I'm sleeping at least 7.
So you're sleeping like 6 hours during prep, but so that was more than before. So what were you sleeping?
Before,
Yeah.
like 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so bad. Like and then personally, I thought that I didn't need it back in the day, like because I would wake up feeling normal,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would
Yeah,
think
that
that
was
I
the
would
thing
be,
with prep because you're hungry. Your body's waking you up to go eat.
yeah, exactly. You're like you get to have your first meal, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, for me, like I was able to get out of bed really easy during prep last year, but I also noticed that throughout the day, I would just have this insane crash of energy too. I would just feel extremely depleted after one point. And a part of it too was in the past, I would be when I approached my diet, I would leave the biggest meal at the end of the night, right? Just because that's the way I structured it. So I'll have very light meal during the day for breakfast and lunch, and I'll have the biggest meal at night. But that worked against me because I'll be so depleted throughout the day, and I wouldn't have the energy until I got home to have that big meal, and I had this like, surge of energy. But that I needed that energy throughout the day when I was working and working out. So the way I push it now is I have my meals spread out from like beginning of the day all the way, like spread out from like 8 a.m. all the way until uh like 10 or 9:30 at night, and then I would have more sustainable energy throughout the day to be able to function, and that's why I had better workouts. And on top of that, I was able to function better, right? More just cognitive functionality. I was clear headed and just felt less depleted.
Man, spreading 1900 calories throughout the day is hard because then you
Yeah,
never
especially over 6 meals,
yeah, so because you so 19 so you're getting like it's like basically like 300 calories per meal.
something like that. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Okay, so
It would pretty much be just be. I mean, at the deep end of prep, just protein and veggies, protein and salad, pretty much. That's what it took. Yeah, I only had like 2 meals with carbs, and it was like probably 50 grams of carbs per meal.
okay, let's I want to hear like every single meal. What were you eating?
Yeah, so breakfast would be. I mean, you guys see on my Instagram story all the time, but it's cream of rice with a scoop of protein.
Okay, so that's cream of rice. Why
Cream
do
of rice.
bodybuilders eat that?
It digests well in your stomach.
Does it?
Yeah, I find so. I think it's better than oatmeal.
Okay.
Better, it digests
Like
better.
tastes better?
It tastes better too, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it mixes better. It mixes really well with protein powder.
Okay.
So I do a scoop of protein powder with
And then what's like the powder on top?
cinnamon.
Oh,
I just drown it with cinnamon.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a lot of cinnamon.
Calorie free. Well, I mean, essentially calorie free.
Yeah.
So I just drown it with a little bit of cinnamon. I also cook egg whites on the side, and I'll throw it in there to get add a little bit of volume.
Oh, okay.
So I do that, and then just a little
So
bit
this
of
is during prep, right? This is
during
okay,
prep.
yeah.
Well, I'm actually still doing it today.
right.
As of
Okay.
today, but just
even
with more cream of rice than before.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same thing,
And that's like pre-workout, I guess.
yeah, usually. Yeah. So I'll have that, and then meal 2 would be chicken and rice. I have a specific recipe I use, and there's just like
Even during prep.
during prep and now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually following the same plan, but just more cream of rice, more rice per meal. Actually, just exact same thing.
Okay.
I like it that way. It's structured, it's simple, and then I have to really think about it, right? And the way like I said, view it, it's feel for me. If I just overcomplicate it, it starts to, play tricks on my mind, and I want the good stuff. I want to add a little bit extra treats or a little extra flavor, and then eventually it just snowballs to the point where I'm just eating like junk food, right? Whereas now it's just like keep it healthy, keep it clean for me. It's a means of fuel for me for my workouts, and then if I want to have a free meal, enjoy something, I'll take one meal or 2 meals out, depending how dirty the free meal is, and I'll just have that free meal instead.
Right. And then so the rest of the meals are basically just like some sort of meat and rice.
Pretty much meat and rice gang.
Rice gang.
Yeah. So it's like chicken, steak, rice, chicken, steak, and then eggs and rice.
So you'll eat rice like every single meal for the entire day.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, I could
Wow.
change it up now if I wanted to. Now that I'm in the off season.
Do you ever eat like potatoes or anything?
Not really.
So
And the
you
reason
just
why
go
is
meat
because
and
it's
rice.
just meat and rice. And the reason why is because potatoes just require a lot more prep work.
Yeah, it's true.
For me, like I'm a busy guy, right? And
so you don't eat any like bread or anything.
No, not really. I mean, I could eat bread too if I
But
wanted to.
you don't prep it. Like you don't. It's not part of the plan.
No, it could be if I wanted to, but if I structure it that way, I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah.
I don't like to change things up too much. Simplicity is key for me, and having a plan that I know the top of my head is going to make sure that I can stay on track with it.
Okay, so how do you prep your meals?
Yeah, so this is what my daily routine looks like. I'll wake up in the morning around like 6:30. I'll go for fasted cardio, and during that time I'll create a little morning concoction, which includes my green supplements, a little bit of glutamine, and creatine.
Okay.
I'll bring that to me to the gym while sipping on that while I do fasted cardio. I'll go back home.
So how far away do you live from the gym?
10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Not bad. I do have a treadmill at home, which I should use, but it's broken right now. And I like kind of being in the gym atmosphere. But nevertheless, I go back home, I have my first meal, which is the cream of rice protein. And then right after that, I'll meal prep for the day. So that meal is the only meal I'll actually cook on the spot. Everything else is kind of pre-made. So I'll prep all of my meats, which would be 3 chicken meals. So I'll have just 3 large chicken breasts in one air fryer. I'll cook it for 10 minutes. It's done for the rest of the day. And the next thing is I'll have 1 steak meal. So I'll put 1 steak in the air fryer, cook it for 10 minutes, done for the day. Meanwhile, while it's cooking, I'll get my rice cooker, getting a whole entire pot of rice ready for the day. And that's pretty much it. So I have all my meats prepped, I have my rice prepped. That in the span of 30 minutes, I'm done for the morning. Right. So I'll meal prep daily, but for me, that's what I found worked for me. And I like to eat my food fresh. So every morning, I'll save 30 minutes to 45 minutes to meal prep for the day. All my meats are cooked, my rice is cooked. For veggies, I just use salad, right? So there's like a spring mix. I'll just have a little bit of that with a little bit of grape tomatoes, and there's a sauce that I create, which is really macro friendly. And I'll just have that on the side with my steak and rice or chicken and rice or my meat and rice.
Wow, so simple. Yeah, so
very simple.
What I do is like I'll make oatmeal with like berries or like banana or whatever, like some sort of fruit for the entire week on like Sunday, and then I'll get Gretton Grub.
Oh yeah.
So they like deliver chicken and then the rice, and then I just separate it into 10 meals, and then I'll have it for 2 weeks, and that's breakfast, lunch, and then dinner is just like flex, like whatever. Yeah, whatever we eat at home, but everything's tracked. Yeah.
Nice. So you like do
no snacks or anything, just 3 meals. Yeah.
So
but it's just easier.
Exactly.
That's the only reason.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
And like the way I like see it now is just like the more simple it is, the way easier it is for you to stay on track with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I try to promote for my clients now, which has changed throughout the years of me becoming a more experienced and mature coach is, we have to keep our meals as consistent as possible. I find, right? If you're changing it up every single day, it's gonna make complicate it, and it's also gonna skew certain levels of like potassium, sodium, which is gonna affect your water retention. And you're not, for me as a coach, I'm not getting clear data with how the protocol is working.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So if I keep things simple, consistent, then there's less variables that will affect the way your body like fluctuates, and then that way I can make clear adjustments or analysis on the progress, so that I can make those proper adjustments, so that we can keep the trend going with the progress.
Yeah, for sure. Just on that note about like water, weight fluctuations and water weight and stuff.
Yeah.
So about 10 days ago now, I started taking 5 grams of creatine for the first time in my life. So I was usually taking like 2 or 3 my whole life.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And then so my weight went from like 171 all the way up to 176. And during this entire period, it was going like up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, up 4 pounds, and then down 2 pounds. It was like the weirdest trend out. I've never seen anything like it, even though my calories were staying like more or less consistent. Like I didn't do anything weird. No like high macro days or anything like that. It was just like, maybe if I did go over, it was like maybe 300 calories. It wouldn't explain gaining like 6 pounds over 10 days. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
It's like super creatine sensitive. And I guess
your body is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. I mean, it could also be the fact that you're training while you're taking this creatine, so there might be more inflammation in the muscle, right? So more water retention in the muscle itself.
Yeah,
which is normal with creatine, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking, that it was just the water retention
in the muscle.
Yeah,
right? And when you're training the muscle, it's gonna, cause the inflammation inside the muscle to hold on to that water.
Right.
That's probably what's happening.
So it's so weird. So I noticed that like flexing, I can flex harder now. I just like, it's crazy. I always consider myself like sensitive to creatine. That's why I never took that much. And then especially just like as soon as I start taking more, then my mouth gets super dry and I get really thirsty and stuff. But yeah, I just found it like super interesting how effective creatine is.
It is.
Yeah.
As long as you drink enough water, I don't see why people shouldn't be taking it. Everyone should be taking it.
So how much water do you drink per day?
Around 6 to 7 liters.
Holy fuck, 6 to 7 liters.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this last time? I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I always go like, what the fuck? Because it's so mind-blowing. Like
6 to 7 liters is a lot. I think that's for bodybuilding standard, that's normal.
6 to 7 liters for
but keep in mind, like I'm heavier than most people.
Yeah.
If you're like 160,
so how much do you weigh right now?
205.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like 180 was the stage weight.
Right.
205 right now.
So yeah, I get probably around like, are you including is this just pure water? Are you including caffeine or coffee and stuff? Yeah.
That's just pure water. Well, I mean, sorry, pure water and diet pops.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do include diet pop into the total fluid intake.
Okay, so that's wow, that's a lot. So and you don't include the coffee, or if you drink coffee?
Well, not really. No, the coffee would be bonus. Yeah.
So you're basically like drinking
really
fluids.
structured.
It's probably like 7 or 8 liters.
Could be up to exactly.
Holy fuck.
I don't drink much coffee though, so if anything, it's like an extra 500, maybe less.
Damn. Okay, so yeah, I probably drink like maybe like 3 or 4, maybe
really?
up to 4. Yeah. Okay. And if I take out the coffee, probably like 2.5, maybe 3.5, up to 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're feeling your lips are dry, it might be it's time to bump it up a bit.
I never felt that before until 10 days ago.
Oh, okay.
But I definitely I increased my water intake for sure over the last 10 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'll be good.
Why? I don't understand. Where would the weight be coming from other than water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only going to benefit you too. Like the more water you drink, you're going to be able to flush the nutrients to your muscles better.
But then also at the same time, though, from the things that I've read online too, like I don't know how true it is, but apparently it also like dilutes your blood and then causes like could cause, for example, low blood pressure with if you don't have as much nutrients in the blood and electrolytes. Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's
so do you supplement with electrolytes?
Do I supplement with electrolytes? Yeah. I mean, potassium, not really. Just kind of sodium with my food, right? Salt, a little bit of salt, but not really supplement.
Okay.
Yeah,
because so we started drinking coconut water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has a lot of everything inside. It's better than any kind of Gatorade or anything that you could buy from the store for electrolytes. Mm-hmm. But it also includes a lot of sugar.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you drink water, like coconut water as your main source of fluid?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of carbs.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, so I'll do like I do like 350 to 380 carb per day.
Oh, okay, that's a
So
good fair amount. Yeah.
yeah, like I could fit in juice. Yeah. Like I'll probably like fit in like 50 grams of juice. Oh, and then also I also drink the water kefir. I don't know if you ever seen me post that.
The water what?
I call it like the elixir of health and prosperity.
Oh, okay.
It's a water kefir. So do you know what kefir is?
No.
It's like milk. Okay, so they have like milk kefir, which is basically like a yogurt milk, and it's probiotic. And it basically, like, at the end of the day, it's just like a rotten milk, right?
Oh.
So that's what yogurt is, right? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
basically
yeah.
rotten. And yeah, so it's probiotic, really good for you, really
Yeah.
good for the gut.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's water kefir as well, which is like these little, it's kind of like a kombucha. But then kombucha is like super acidic. It also has that, like, I don't know if you've ever had kombucha, have you?
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah.
And then it tastes acidic. It almost tastes like vinegar.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever had noticed that? And so water kefir doesn't have that like acidity or like vinegariness. It's more like a
okay.
juice. So it has like 10 carb per 250 milliliters. So yeah, I do drink a lot of juice. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it helps with the digestion, and then also with the electrolytes from the coconut water, it helps me with my energy. It helps me
Yeah.
hydrate. So yeah,
I'm big about digestion now. Like just gut health.
yeah.
I found it for me. I prioritize the foods that digest well my body, and taking certain supplements that help with that as well.
I think the most important thing is just staying consistent with your diet.
Yeah.
Like, I know the people who like get their digestion wrecked the most are usually people who do like keto, and then all of a sudden they go like off keto for like 3 months, and they go back to keto, and then like because they always think that they have to be back on keto,
Yeah, yeah.
and they
yeah.
can just, and then that wrecks their gut. Like those are people with like the worst gut issues, or people who just like eat random shit every single
Right.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for you, like you should be pretty good because your gut microbiome adjusted to basically meat and rice.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been doing that for the last like 8 months now, so my body is extremely used to it. And
Yeah.
no
But how do you
digestive
feel after
issues.
you have like a
Like a meal like that?
Yeah, like a free meal.
Like I think my body's like, adjusted to it now, but after Van
Oh,
Pro,
after prep, yeah.
after Van Pro, like the first show, yeah, I mean, I kind of went all out on the food, and I didn't have the best digestion the day after for sure. I'll be honest, but then yeah, the moment you get back onto regular meals, I guess back to normal right away. So
Mhm.
for me, I think it's just about slowly reintroducing those foods and kind of getting
Yeah.
my body used to it. And now that I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks, eating 3 meals, is like those meals don't really phase my digestion.
So what are your like go-to like but wait, there's more meals? Like it seems like it's so like anything.
It's anything. It's
What's the go-tos though? Cuz like
Yeah.
during when you went to, yeah, I guess you went to, it was Chicago, right?
I did Chicago and Texas.
Yeah, so Chicago, you're eating a lot of like it was like almost like Mexican food, I think.
Yeah, a lot of South American food.
South
And
American
the reason
food.
for that is because my client actually, he hosted us, so he
Oh, okay.
he was
So he's just taking you around all the best restaurants.
pretty much, and he's like South American as well.
Yeah.
So he knew all like the hole in the walls. So he kind of showed us around to those kind of restaurants, which is more of his culture.
Yeah, yeah.
It was great though because I wouldn't eat that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
If I wasn't shown what kind of restaurants were.
Yeah, I'd rather
good.
do that too than just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to like
So it was
the,
a great experience eating that stuff in Chicago of all places.
and then Texas was obviously the barbecue
Barbecue.
and
Yeah.
the tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's what I
obviously,
ate when I was there too.
yeah, I had to choose the places that were obviously highly recommended there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the food tour was great, and I kind of want to. I mean, not doing it as consistently, but I kind of want to make a series out of it, like once a week type of thing, where I just go to a random food place and kind of do a food review. I think a lot of people enjoy that, and
Yeah.
that's who I am. I love food, and I like to share my experience with my food. And I think a lot of people can gravitate towards that because I think a lot of other people like food as well.
Dude,
And,
that's really popular on TikTok right now.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if do you have TikTok?
I do. I don't use it though.
Dude, fuck, I had TikTok for probably a month on my phone. I had to delete it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just completely consumed.
Right.
Yeah, because it like the content on it only gets better and better because the more
You
you
get
stay
hooked in.
on it,
Yeah.
like it starts catering to you and stuff. But yeah, so I deleted it. But anyway, what I was gonna say is like there's a lot of people who are like posting like their like
Food
food
reviews?
reviews and stuff like that. And those are super interesting.
It catches fire.
But so okay, what's your go-to now? Like what do you for
If I want to
Vancouver
feel, if I'm gonna
foodie?
crave
Like what?
something,
Fried chicken,
yeah, I
sushi. What is
mean,
it?
I don't like to go through that stuff too much because it does make me feel like shit. And I'd
Okay.
rather, be able to wake up next morning and not feel super groggy and not be able to digest my food well. So I'm like a pastries guy. I love my donuts and
Mm.
cookies. So I'll have a little bit of that if I want to, and then just a typical like burger, fries, pizza. Those are my go-tos. And then of course the Asian food that I really enjoy, like this like hot pot, Korean barbecue, Japanese barbecue. I try to stay away from the fried foods as much as I can, but I
Hmm.
do have a soft spot for it. So that's why actually the other day I went to a Korean fried chicken and I had a good amount of it. And, surprisingly, I actually woke up next morning feeling okay.
Hmm.
So I think my body is getting accustomed to eating
I think
those.
it depends on the quality too. Like
Yeah,
some places just suck. Like if you went to like churches or something, I'm sure you feel like shit.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But I can't remember where you went. I saw it on your Instagram, but
yeah.
where was it?
It was a Korean fried chicken joint,
What's it called?
a juker,
Oh,
a juker.
Juker. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure they have like better quality stuff there.
Yeah, it
So,
was
yeah.
good. I mean, I personally, this is one of my favorite restaurants. So, but yeah, I don't want to eat too much fried food moving forward. Just keep it minimal as much as I can. And yeah, I think my right now my body is digesting the food pretty well, so I just want to keep it that way. And again, I'm doing this because there's a bigger goal at hand.
Hmm.
So for this season, I'll tell to your audience right here, probably gonna hang up the towel for my rookie season, and that's
Hmm.
probably gonna be it for my competitions. But the big goal here is we gotta qualify for Olympia 2023,
Hmm.
and I just want to make sure I stay focused with that. So stay on the plan, and then probably do a show in June next year. Do like an early qualification show, and then if I qualify, then I have from June until I think it's probably gonna be September, which is gonna be the Olympia.
Dude, that's freaking exciting, man. So 2023 back into like competitive mode.
Yeah. So right now, I'm gonna go straight into the off season. There's a few things I need to get done before I go full off season as far as like changing up my plan goes. Because right now I'm still eating the same meals, clean meals, chicken breast and stuff like that. But probably gonna change up the food sources and probably gonna bump up the calories even more.
Hmm.
Before I do that though, there's something I have to get done as far as an operation goes. And then once I do that, I'm gonna shift gears, go straight into off season, and then probably be in the off season for like 6 months, and then have a few months to prep for the show in June.
When you compete in these IFBB pro competitions, do you like first place gets a chance at the Olympia? Like, or you get to
Not a chance. They qualify
they qualify for the Olympia. So then, how many people are inside the Olympia?
a shit ton right now, man. It's crazy. Like I don't know why they have so many competitors in that show, but it's like I think it's around 50.
Oh wow!
50 qualified
Like
Olympians.
at your weight, high class.
Not It's not divided by height anymore. We're all in the same class.
What?
So it's me versus C-Bum versus the next short guy versus the next tall guy. Everyone's the same.
Really?
It's 50 guys up against each other.
Right.
So that's why it's so competitive. Like classic
Wow.
physique has just blown up as a category, and it's getting I think more popular than open bodybuilding.
So if you were to place like let's say what would be a goal to place in Olympia?
Now that I see how deep of a lineup and how competitive it is, even just cracking top 10.
Hmm.
Like that's my lifetime goal is crack top 10. Just be a top 10 in the world at one point. I'd be happy to end my career there.
Wow.
My eyes though, I'm gunning for top 5
Hmm.
because like that has been my goal since I became a pro. That's gonna be the big dream. But realistically speaking, even if I can crack top 10, I'd be happy.
Damn. Fuck, that's so insane. We like for me thinking about that because I'm so far away,
Yeah,
and then like you're like pretty much there.
pretty much there, man.
Yeah.
Knocking on the door.
Yeah. So let's say you're just gonna keep going like year after year until you get there.
That's it.
And then when do bodybuilders like usually like finish their careers?
Well,
Where you like have
everyone's
like
different, really. But you got some guys competing from 16 years old all the way until they're 50. There's a bodybuilder named Dexter Jackson who
like like professionally.
professionally, yeah.
Wow.
He started when he was like in his teens, and then he competed all the way till he was 50 something. And he's actually healthy.
Damn.
He did it the right way. He's healthy. He looks great right now even, and he retired as one of the best in the sport.
Mm.
Some other guys, let's say you abused steroids in the beginning, and you need to retire because of health complications. You might need to retire early.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the way I see it, I don't see myself competing anything past beyond 35.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to have everything settled down with my career, uh, family, etc. by 35, and then have just kind of my business that I need to focus from that point on. So competing from now until then will give me, I guess, 5 years to make it to the top 10 Olympia. So I think in 5 years, like every year, I'm just gonna get better, right? And like I said before, I've never had a real off season, like a dedicated off season to make the improvements. Whether the pandemic happened, whether I ruptured my Achilles, there was always something that kind of steered me off path. But uh, yeah, moving forward, I think the next few years here is going to be really like game changing on my physique and the trajectory of my competition career.
Dude, that's so exciting, man.
I am excited.
So I don't think we talked about this last time, but you ruptured your. How did you do it?
So this is when I was 240.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is August 2021, so last year, and my friends were just having a get together at the park. They set up a volleyball net, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to be a volleyball player pretty competitively. I actually played with Brandon
Oh
back
yeah.
in the day. Yeah. And yeah, so my stupid ass thought that it was cool to, get on the grass again and start playing like I used to play when I was like 60 pounds lighter,
Yeah.
or actually more than that, 80 pounds lighter. So I was like, trying to kind of not showing off, but showing my friends that I know how to play. So I'm moving like I think I used to move, but with an extra 80 pounds. And then one of my friends, he sets me up for a spike. I'm going for a spike. In the grass, there's a small little ditch that I didn't see.
Mm.
My left foot steps in the ditch, and my other foot is on the grass. And I guess when I went to spike, all of my weight shifted on that one foot, which is my left foot, in that ditch. And the moment I leapt off, the Achilles tendon ruptured immediately.
Like full rupture.
I don't know if it was a full rupture. I think it was a partial, maybe 3/4. But yeah, they didn't have to do surgery. But anyways, it ruptured immediately. I thought like the sound of it, I thought I broke my bone.
Damn.
It sounded so loud, and I was like, "Shit! I broke my ankle." And then
That would probably be better if you did.
I think it might have been better, yeah, because ruptured Achilles, I'll be honest, is not even 100% yet. Like I can't do a single leg calf raise yet, like full range of motion single leg calf raise.
Really?
Not yet.
Damn.
Yeah, I think partly too is just my lack of laziness of being proactive with the home care.
Mm.
But nevertheless, yeah. So when it happened, like I thought I broke my ankle, but then a few moments later, I was able to put weight on it, and then next day I went to the hospital, and the doctor said it was a ruptured Achilles. So he just advised me to not do surgery and let it heal naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And then meanwhile, I was trying to get myself back into prep mode, and then from there, working through prep with a recovering Achilles injury on the diet. I couldn't really pose properly. I couldn't train as optimally as I could. And then eventually it got to a point where I could start training really good and was able to pose better. And then, yeah, and then I was able to step on stage with it. So
yeah,
all worked out.
Well, that's the thing. Like these kind of things happen.
I know. You never know what life throws at you, right? But yeah, like you could have, I could have fell into a victim mindset right then and there. And, I did. I did it for a few months. It was from August until December where I just like ate like shit and I stopped working out as consistently. But the moment that January hit, for me, it was just like a trigger. I needed to shift gears. I couldn't continue going down that road of bad habits.
Well, fuck! I just realized my timeline's so skewed. So that was 2021.
That's 2021.
Yeah. Which month did you say? October?
August.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's kind of like a year ago.
Yeah.
A whole year ago.
This is a year ago. That seems so recent.
It was
because you like competed in 3 bodybuilding competitions. Best
life
physique ever.
I'll tell you right now, life has just changed for me in the last 8 months so drastically. Because before that, I was 240 pounds, just completely let myself go and ruptured Achilles. Mindset was all over the place.
Yeah, because just out of COVID,
yeah,
everybody was still wearing masks at that time.
Yeah,
it's hard to train.
Yeah. Life was pretty miserable back then, and then in the last 8 months, I got my shit together, and I guess the last time I was on here, I was still in that process of getting my shit together, right?
Yeah.
And after 6 months, I lost 60 pounds. Did my pro debut at the Van Pro, second place, and then it just really lit the fire in me because I was like so close knocking on that door for Olympia qualification. So I decided to keep pursuing competitions, and I did Chicago 3 weeks later, and I got third in that one. So I think, I felt like I could have placed higher, but the judges saw a flaw in my physique, which was I needed bigger glutes. So at that level, everyone's so close. Everyone
Mhm.
is like neck and neck in terms of the physique. So if they see a flaw in your physique, they'll dock you for it.
Mhm.
So they docked me for my glutes, which is why I got third. And then I actually wasn't planning to do the show, but it was in my head that I thought was the best decision. It was a week later, the Texas Pro Show, where I already had to butt weight. There's more, food episodes.
Yeah.
Gained about 12 pounds, and then I spoke to my coach, and the show was a week after, right? I spoke to my coach. I was like, hey, so I have a crazy idea, but I just wanted to run it by you. I'm about like 12 pounds over weight cap right now. There's a show in 1 week. I kind of want to do it. What do you think? And he told me, I've done crazier shit. So the moment he said that, I was like, all right, let's go for it. Booked the flight. It was like 1 week later. I was 12 pounds over my weight cap. I flew in from on Monday, and the weigh-in was Thursday. So I had to lose 12 pounds from Monday to Thursday to make weight.
Fuck.
So we had to deplete hard, and it was probably really the hardest 4 days of prep in my life, or during that time. But we managed to do that. We went from 192 down to 178 by Thursday 5 p.m.
Wow.
Made weight, and then
How many calories were you eating?
probably like I think less than 1,700. It was like one carb meal was like 50 grams of carbs the whole day.
Wow.
Everything else is protein and veggies.
Damn.
Yeah, for 4 days, an hour of cardio daily. So, but it worked.
So why did you want to do it?
It was close. Like the competition was close. Like it was a week later, and on top of that, I didn't know about the show before so what happened was I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw the show pop up, and I saw the competitor list. There was like 5 guys in there, and I saw every one of them. There wasn't any big names. So when I saw that, I was like, I can probably win this show. And that thought just popped through my head. That's when I reached out to the coach and I asked him about the crazy idea, and he said, "Yeah, I've done crazier shit." When he said that,
So what did you place on that show?
I was third.
Okay. So you got second place, third place, and then third place.
Sorry, so it's second place, third place, and fourth place for that show.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fourth place. And so yeah, they were competitive guys then, I guess.
They were, yeah. The states were competitive. The final show that I did in Texas,
Yeah.
that was the most stacked lineup I've competed.
And you
in.
thought it was going to be the easiest lineup.
Well, the second show, the Chicago show, I thought was going to be easy. The last show,
So yeah, why did you decide to do Texas? That's what I meant.
but Texas was, well, it was the closest show to right after Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Which you also did about Wait, There's More to her.
I did for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that one you were also up like 10 pounds?
I was also up 10 pounds, yeah. But I had 3 weeks to lose weight for this
I
one.
see.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I had a little more time to lose that weight, but the
Yeah,
Chicago
Texas is
show,
always going to be more stacked. It's just, dude, how many people live in Texas? Like 50 million?
a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah.
And like bodybuilding community is big there.
Mm-hmm.
So there was actually one guy that was like top 8 in Olympia that competed in that show. There was also another guy that is an up and coming guy from like I think UK or Germany that competed in that show, and he did really well. So he was the top 8 Olympian guy was first. That other guy I was talking about was second, and there was like some Mexican guy that came out of nowhere. I felt like I was really close with him. I probably should have got third, but he kind of edged me out, and that's where I placed.
And then here in Vancouver, there's like 12 guys.
Yeah, but I think about 13.
Wow.
And I was like,
so here was actually pretty competitive as well.
it was still
right?
pretty competitive, yeah. But as far as like the lineup goes, the amount of quality caliber athletes in Texas, everyone was on point.
Yeah.
Right, like everyone was conditioned, everyone had good shape.
Yeah,
So-
I think I remember seeing like some pictures from the Van Pro, and there's like a guy at the end that was like just looked like meh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the guy in 6th or something.
yeah. The Van Pro quality of competitors wasn't as competitive as Texas. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's so crazy because these guys got a pro card.
You can get a pro card pretty easily nowadays. I would say.
You think so?
You go to North Americans, the show that I got a pro card, they'll give out sometimes 2 pro cards per class.
Hmm.
And let's say if you were like 35 or over, there's a category for just 35-year-olds.
Hmm.
And they'll give a pro card for that. So
Wow.
even if they're older, you can get a pro card in just that older class and not have to compete with the younger guys.
Right. I see. But then when you go and play, go for IFBB standards, like there's no age classes or anything
No age class or anything, yeah. So everyone is grouped together.
in height though.
No, not even in height. Like
Wait, so then how come you had a weight class though?
yeah, so in classic, how it works is you have to weigh a certain amount based on your height, but that's just for you only.
Oh, but it's everybody. Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you're not in
Wow.
different height classes, but you have a height limit or a weight limit
Right.
based on
Yeah,
your
I do
height.
remember seeing the picture, and there you guys all looked like you're different
We were
heights.
all different heights.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm up against the taller guys like C-Bum and stuff like that.
Damn, that's
It's
crazy.
tough. It's tough for short guys, but
You know, I don't know if you know anything about this, but like out of India, there's like some crazy bodybuilders coming out of there.
yeah, I've seen some of them, a couple of them.
Yeah, I saw like this YouTube video where like these guys are getting like kicked off stage for being too big. Have you
Oh,
seen
really?
that?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
I think I saw it on like Derek More Plates More Dates
Oh, okay.
like one of his
Well, I
show-
mean, what? India has a
these-
population of 1 billion people.
yeah,
I'm
they're
sure there's going to be a couple
yeah,
good bodybuilders
just
in there.
insane though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like too big.
Like IFBB Pro tier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like no, they just look insane. They're like competing in like they look like classic physique guys, but are competing in like just regular physique.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
just insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing too. So like, are you allowed? Let's say you're an IFBB Pro. Are you IFBB Pro for like classic physique, or can you go to physique now?
I can go to physique if I want.
Really?
Yeah, so I can slap on a pair of board shorts and because that's so how it works is you got to ask the organization for a contract
Mhm.
on what category you want to compete in. Doesn't
Right.
matter what category. So once you have a pro card, they see you're a pro. You can ask. I can ask to get a contract for the open bodybuilding shows.
Right.
So I can be up there with like the Phil Heaths, big Rammies if I wanted to, but I
You
would just
wouldn't
be a
do it.
laughing stock at that point.
Yeah.
People won't take me seriously, right? So I can ask for a contract to compete in it if I wanted to.
Mhm.
But obviously, I'm in classic. I'm gonna stay there. But if I wanted to stop on board shorts, I probably could.
Have you ever done that?
No, I've never competed in men's physique, but I did like a model search once.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like men's physique, but I slapped on board shorts for it. I got second place in that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not
What,
bad.
were you too big or something?
I don't know. I didn't have the men's physique look. I guess I was too big. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think that you'd do well in men's physique?
There's like certain body parts that I'm missing that
Okay.
won't make me do as well. Like my abs aren't as symmetrical
Okay.
as a lot of the top pros are, and on top of that, like my waist, even though when I strike my poses, it's not too thick, but when I'm just standing there relaxed, which is what a men's physique pose is, it does a little bit thicker.
Mm.
So my structure for men's physique might not be the best. Like my physique comes to life when I'm striking a bodybuilding pose.
Right.
When I'm just standing there, like showing it off like a beach body, it doesn't look the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
But when I strike my poses, that's when you can really tell how aesthetic this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why classic for me is, my home division.
So okay, let's say when you retire, you like get your top 10. You're like, hey, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
What's the plan from there?
It's a good question, man. That's
Like,
like,
are you gonna-
my next 5-year plan, I guess. But
like, is it gonna like? Are you gonna still stay on gear and like? Or are you just gonna finish with everything?
well, I
and just
think I'll be at a point where I'll probably
need TRT.
probably TRT, like cycle just like low dose. I find that it can only enhance my life in so many ways, right? And I'm okay with the poking, so
Mhm.
I'm okay with that lifestyle. But as far as like being in the industry goes, I'll always have a love for the sport. So I
Mhm.
want to stay as engaged as I can with the sport, and try to be an ambassador for the sport as much as I can. So in the next 5 years here, who knows? Like if I do place top 10 in the Olympia, I'll probably still have some kind of role in the sport one way or another. Whether that is eventually down the road, maybe even hosting my own show, which is something that could possibly happen, or just taking on more competition clients, right, and building up the coaching business in that sense. But we'll see. I'm not too sure what the next step is, but I do see myself staying involved within the fitness industry and bodybuilding in general because I just have such a great passion for it.
Have you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel?
It's actually funny you asked that, but that's in the works right now.
Oh yeah.
It's in the works, yeah. So we're just kind of lining up the videos, where we're getting a bunch of content ready before we launch, and that we have some consistent content to post for the next like 2 months type of thing.
Mhm.
And once we have all that ready, then we can start to kind of create the videos on a weekly basis to kind of
So
keep consistent.
what style videos, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so it's kind of like docu-series / like vlogs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you know how like C-Bum has his like Road
That's
to
exactly
Olympia.
who I was thinking about, like videos like his.
Yeah. So it's kind of
oh,
like
this
that.
is what I'm eating today, and like
Yeah,
shit like
kind of
that,
day in the
right?
life.
A lot of people like they really like these like interviews and stuff where they see your kind of like details of your life because there's only so much you can show on Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram is like it's kind of like the the face of who you are. You don't see the deeper layers of what this
That's why
person's like.
C-Bums is so popular, right? Because people are just so mesmerized by like this guy who's like an elite level bodybuilder, but then you look at his life and it's like normal.
He's a normal dude.
Yeah, he's a normal dude.
Yeah, he's very humble actually. That's why people are attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, like YouTube is just, it gives you that platform to build on your personal brand, I think, and get to know you as a person, as an athlete, do things that are behind the scenes that you don't really see on Instagram. Even though I do try to, be as transparent as I can on Instagram, like on Instagram stories, I'll kind of walk you through a day of my life type of thing. But I think YouTube is how you build that greater connection with your audience, and that's kind of what I want to do with what we have planned for YouTube.
So it's not going to be like educational.
Oh, there'll still be some educational content in there. I think some that will be more of the shorter clips. I think maybe like YouTube Shorts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to play around with it. We got to figure out like what's trending and what kind of content hits with the audience, right? But
and also what you like to do as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like content can be so repetitive and mundane, and kind of get burned out at times, right? Just kind of trying to figure out what content works. And for me, like I like to post my updates with my bodybuilding career. That for me comes naturally, like that. I don't have to stress about it, think about it. It's just when I start to have to think about every single piece of content I have to do, that's when it starts to get really like, I don't know, tedious on my end, and I don't have the passion for that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have a passion for something, like let's say if I'm just getting recorded doing a workout and just showcasing a little bit of my personality, I would love doing that for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of content I want to put out, just to kind of share a little more of who I am and how I am as a person, just on a regular daily basis.
So do you have a videographer for that, or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, we have a videographer. So
dude, that's awesome, man. I will be first subscriber.
Awesome. Yeah,
cool, man. Yeah, I guess we're already at an hour, so we could wrap it up. I thought this was a great one. It's great to get an update from all of your stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I love what you guys have been doing with this, and I can see the growth with the podcast, and I'm just happy to share my own journey on this and have an opportunity to share it more than once. So thank you for having me.
Well, that's what Vancouver Podcast is all about, giving Vancouver fitness influencers a voice.